evening. Fred Blanchard here, Adrenaline Motorsports. You're listening to AdrenalineRadio.com. Had a chance to do some visiting, of course, and I did a little bit of that. And one of the visits I made was to Cassell Engineering, and Cassell Engineering is currently Andy Cassell, of course. He's basically the second generation, and then his sons are the third generation. These folks have been designing transmissions for not only circle track racing, but boat racers as well. Huge transmissions for V-drives and that type of a thing. And they're one of the best kept secrets in the town, I think. But they make a fine product. They've been doing it since the dad did it pretty much like from the 30s, and Andy's continued on with it. And of course, if you want to go to some of these races, and when they have like a reunion in the circle track venue, prime example of the reunion thing that I'm going to refer to is the Legends of Ascot. There's been annually that's put on by a group of people, and they have an event out at Paris, California every year, where a lot of the sponsors, like Nick Arias and a variety of others, put on the event and sponsor something that goes on there. But the whole deal is circle track racing as it was in Ascot down there when it was in Gardena, California. And a lot of the old-timers show up for that, and honorees like Parnelli Jones and people like that, Vels Ford, and they show up at these events, and it's a wonderful experience to do that because, again, that was part of Southern California racing history, and that's a real big deal. We're very proud of that, and Don Weaver really is the man behind all of this, and he's out there pushing it along and getting people involved and bringing on icons and such as Al Unser and people and Parnelli Jones and all those who were heroes in the local racing, and also the races back in Indianapolis. And a lot of again, circle track racing is in the Midwest, like Terre Haute, Indiana, and places like that. A lot of places, but the circle track racing for sprint cars is a big deal. Still goes on today. The event that one of the things when we traveled back there for one of the trade shows, I got a chance to actually visit Tony Stewart's race car stable, and I thought I would see NASCARs there, basically what he drives. However, he's got a stable of sprint cars and midgets, and because it's a big deal back there. I mean it. And when I say a stable, I'm not talking about two cars in each corner. There were probably a row of 20 cars of midgets, another 20 of winged sprint cars and non-winged sprint cars, and he's got drivers basically for these programs throughout the Midwest, and which is a real big deal. But the circle track guys are backed by people like Andy Cassell, where I visited, and he makes quick change rear ends for midgets. He makes V-drive transmissions for these big power boats, and I mean big power boats. And he has quite an inventory. He does all the gears, the casting for the housings and that kind of thing. And in years past, he's also made all the gear drives for some of the Arias projects as well, such as the Arias 10-liter and also the Arias 8.3-liter engine. He's not a stranger to anything in the areas of what is done. It's real exotic stuff, and Andy's a pretty smart guy, and I had a chance to visit with him. Another place that I had a chance to go by, and it was kind of like the same thing, but still it's not. But there again, where I went also was Nachi Contreras of Contreras Camshafts, and I'm sure most of you have never heard of Contreras Camshafts, but Nachi has been in the industry for a long time, quite involved with RCD Performance Products prior to his move to his own facility. And his home facility, they basically are a full-function machine shop, and Nachi's pretty much a product designer in his own right. and he's doing a lot of things in behalf of several companies. One obviously would be the Nick Arias Jr. Racing Components Company in some of the design work for the prototype camshafts that are going to be for this Ford project. Other people that are basically having parts built there for various applications basically is Robert Reel Enterprises. He's having parts made there, and not small parts by any means. He manufactures blower pulleys and blower hubs and various related components that directly relate to the high end of motorsports in the areas of drag racing. So Robert Reel's quite a vendor in those areas, and he uses the services of Contreras to do that. So it's not only camshafts that are made there by Nachi, but he has the skills, he has the gear cutting capabilities, and I also found that this B&B Performance Products is having camshafts made there for the new project that they're going to be presenting here in a not too distant future, which is the 8.3 liter engine that was originally designed and manufactured by Nick Arias Racing, and it's now being reintroduced, the cast version again, and the aircraft engineering in its metallurgy aspect of making this engine block was quite a thing in itself, which it'll be released here soon, and that's pretty much on that part of it. But I was just talking about the Contreras company, and they make things of that type, basically something that somebody can't figure out how to make it work. That, well, they have people there to redesign it, and that's really a prime job in itself. So, but talking to Nachi, and basically he has behind the scenes that no one really talks about, but people from the Howard Cam Company, which is Donnie Johansson himself, which was directly involved in camshafts, and he's there talking to all those that that are in the manufacturing side of the business, and using his areas of expertise and guidance in producing the product. So there's a good team there, and that's quite an interesting place to see if you've never seen that type of machine shop before. But I thought that was a very, very interesting experience, just to go there and visit those people to see what they're doing and make sure that that things are moving on with in the production of your parts. And but they are doing components, as I say, for Arias as we speak, and hopefully we'll have some prototype camshafts for the Dembesti Hemi-headed Ford, and that's kind of where those prototypes are coming from initially. And there's the place that do the development, because they can turn apart pretty quick if you need to have it, and